Father Spitzer, I'm one of those agnostics who is open to evidence and who was brought up with a very ugly fundamentalist view of an angry, punishing God. I'd like to believe in God, but not an angry, horrible God like the one I grew up with. And is there scientific evidence for a loving and compassionate God and for quote-unquote heaven or some kind of eschaton, good eschaton? Also, can you tell me where I can find some credible information about near-death experiences? Thank you so much, Pam. I'm sure the Magis Center website would be good for that, but go ahead, Father.
Yeah, just really quickly, one of the books that Doug just referenced is called The Soul's Upward Yearning. I have a whole chapter on near-death experiences in there, chapter 5. It is footnoted with all of the major studies, the Parnia study, the von Lommel study, and so forth. All of these things, the Kenneth Ring study of near-death experiences of the blind, etc. All of that is in chapter 5 of that book, The Soul's Upward Yearning. So that would be worth definitely reading. Also, in those near-death experiences, there is evidence of a loving God through that. Second area, of course, Christian revelation, unequivocally, Jesus equates God with the father of the prodigal son. And if you know that story or that parable, you'll see that the prodigal son really has committed everything wrong you could possibly do, right? He betrays his family, shames his family, leaves them, takes his inheritance, goes off to the land of the Gentiles, right? The non-elect, betrays his people, betrays his call, betrays his election, spends all the money on dissolute living and prostitutes, basically betraying God, betraying Torah, and finally lives with the pigs, highly unclean animals. And who is the Father? Who is God? Because this parable should be called the parable of the father of the prodigal son. And in that parable, Jesus describes the Father who is God, his Abba, right, who comes out, rushes out to meet the boy in perfect joy. The boy's trying to get the speech, rolled out, and the father is giving him a tunic, dress my boy like royalty, giving him sandals. Don't let him be a slave anymore without sandals on his feet. Gives him the family ring, right? Jewish men don't wear rings for merely, purposes of adornment, right? It has the signet, the sign of the family on it. You belong to my family 100%, and kills the fatted calf. That's the real God of Jesus Christ. Therefore, the angry God, the terrifying God, the stoic God, the disgusted God, these are gods, that Jesus Christ basically is kind of eliminating from view in his revelation of the unconditional love of God, not only in the Father of the prodigal son, but in his selection of love as the highest commandment, his use of the name of God, name of Abba for God, which of course is like affectionate, trustworthy father, daddy, almost. These are the things that come from Christian revelation. But from the universe itself, very, very briefly, what you're asking there, yeah, there really is, evidence of God, God's love even in the universe. Because as you look at it, and you have to have kind of an enlightened view of this, right? Because sometimes it looks like the universe is very hostile, right? Because there are earthquakes and there's lightning and there's all kinds of disease and things of that nature. But if you look at it, the universe, and especially the earth that we live in, is really about 90% really friendly. In fact, no, make it 97% really friendly and about 3% hostile.